Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm running through the Premier League title race. There are four big sides, well, three, and then one smaller side that are all in the Premier League title race. And the international break gives you that time to reflect, gives you that opportunity to look and assess the squads, the big players, and of course, this match round, there are some big fixtures. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Would really appreciate that. Let's start off with Liverpool, Everton. It's the first game out of the four. Also, I won't spoil who I think are in the title race out of the four. Well, mainly Liverpool versus Everton. Liverpool, you could put your house on Liverpool winning this game. There's been a couple of draws. I'm thinking Phil Jagielka scored a goal out of nowhere. These that will be getting 3 points. And you look at Liverpool, the almost inhumane injustice that they went through with the linesman at Spurs, and the fact that they struggled against Brighton. That's the reality. I would too after what happened with the referee at Tottenham. And they've come back and they're still only a few points off Spurs. And you feel that they would have beaten Spurs. You feel they would have beaten Brighton with momentum. They are just that kind of side, Liverpool. I know they've lost Andy Robertson for an extended period of time. I like Tsimikas a lot. I'm not sure about his kind of full fitness and availability. Looks like a player. I think he's played in Europe, I think, in a few cup games. But he's a decent player. And he actually was pushing Andy Robertson, at the start of last season, I think it was. So Liverpool have got the squad. I've been saying it on this channel for a very long time. Someone like Mohamed Salah is a world-class player that once it gets a little bit nippy, once it gets a little bit cold, and the only thing you focus on is club football now. I know there's a little international break in November, which is a little bit depressing, but it's getting to that point now where it's getting to the full flow of the season. The weird games you get at the start of the season, they're kind of over. And the Liverpool machine, I think, will start to really kick on, and it's against Everton. They've been drossed. They've got 55-year-old Ashley Young at left-back. I think Everton are in a world of pain. They're taking Wonga loans out to keep the club going. It's not good, it's not right, and it's a shame. But you feel that Liverpool really will take this game to Everton and really decimate them. So Liverpool in this title race, I think they are actually second favourites to win the league. I've just mentioned Salah, a world-class forward you can rely on. You can feed the ball into him at any angle, any position. And for me, it's about midfield as well. And you could say any position is important to win the Premier League title race, but I think you can get through a season being quite average up front. I'm thinking of that Mourinho side. The last time Chelsea won the league with Mourinho, Sami Eto'o, quite old at that point up front, and a few others. Schürrle wasn't great. I know Hazard was part of that. But the midfield of Fabregas and Matic got them into an incredible position, Chelsea. So I think Liverpool's midfield with Szoboszlai, obviously Thiago could come back and have a massive impact. Alexis McAllister has been huge. If they get that right, that midfield for Liverpool could drive them on. I think Liverpool are certainly in the Premier League title race. They're a major force. Big one is they can also beat Man City. I know Arsenal can as well, and so can Spurs. But Liverpool actually can beat City home and away. They're more than good enough to do that. Let's go to the second club, Arsenal. They got Chelsea on the weekend. Chelsea slightly rejuvenated with wins against Fulham, Luton, Burnley. Yeah, that's where we are. Chelsea fans are gassed with that. It's late on a Saturday. Will there be any pressure from looking at the Liverpool result, looking at the City result? Especially if Chelsea start quick. They start out of the blocks. Someone like Raheem Sterling's always had a great record against Arsenal for City and Liverpool. So I think Arsenal's probably got the hardest game out of everyone in the four going for the Premier League title. But obviously moving forward throughout the season, Arsenal got an incredible rhythm. They did it nearly last season. It can go one of two ways, which is a pretty basic point. You can either be a Kevin Keegan and be completely never in a Premier League title race ever again. And you could argue Newcastle just weren't set up in the 90s. After they got close to winning the league, the Kevin Keegan rant, they never really approached winning the league again. Bit of a top four side. But you can say Arsenal, with their squad, one of the youngest squads in Europe in terms of a big club, getting 247 days of experience of winning the league, then looking and thinking, why didn't we win the league? Why didn't that happen? It didn't happen because we didn't beat City home or away. We lost to beatable Southampton, very beatable, Brighton, West Ham, Liverpool. So these games, the players from Arsenal, these aren't 35-year-old has-beens, right? These are young players that are also going to get better. They're going to learn and get better at the same time. It's not bad in football if you can still be young, juvenile, and kind of had this level of optimism that I think Arteta has instilled in Arsenal. The celebrations beating City were something, I'd say a little bit tin pot, but for a young squad, passionate, emotional, I hope for them if I was an Arsenal fan, but by January, February, the emotions come down a little bit, they become a little bit more robotic. But if they do become that robotic Klopp side, Guardiola side, if they can win 10, 11, 12 in a row, which is what you do need to do to win the Premier League, then this Arsenal side actually have one of the best machines to go and do it. You could argue they've got a better squad than Liverpool in terms of cover for all the positions. Maybe you could argue Liverpool, if everyone's fit, has got a couple of better prime players, world-class players. But Arsenal's squad is built to play football, play the Arteta way. I think they're certainly in the title race. You have to let me know where they finish. I don't think it's first. I don't think it's first. Moving on to Tottenham Hotspur. They got Fulham on Monday. They'll be buoyed by any drop points from Arsenal, City or Liverpool. They got Fulham at home. That's 3 points in the bag. I guarantee it. Unless anything crazy's happened in international break, this momentum should keep on going. James Maddison didn't really feature for England, especially against Italy in that crunch game. So he's relatively fresh. So Spurs will look at it. And the great managers, like Ranieri, for example, when he won the league with Leicester, every week he was understanding the opportunity that Leicester City had. It maybe took the media a couple of weeks or fans to really realise. He would have seen exactly what he's seen on the training pitch, what Kante, Mahrez, Vardy could do. And I think there's a little bit of Ange Postecoglou who thinks if City really drop off, like they did with Pellegrini when Leicester won the league, same with Arsenal actually, ironically, and Spurs in that season, and if Liverpool don't get to the heights that they've shown in yesteryear, then I think Spurs could look at this as a massive opportunity, even this weekend, and start encroaching a few points on people, making marginal gains, and going into a position where they can be 3, 4, 5, 6 points clear come November. And that's a really interesting place to be. They'll beat Fulham. They've got goals. I think Richarlison can only do better. I think Son's got 25 Premier League goals in him in a season if he stays fit. And I'm loving Mickey van der Ven. I think this kid's unbelievable. He's a proper centre-back. So quick as well. You want to play with him and you don't get the back. It's unbelievable. I'm actually a big Spurs proponent, really. I like what Spurs do. Don't like when they beat us every year, and when they do beat us, I'll hate them again. But there's something about how Spurs play. At the moment, they're not really feared by many fans. Once they start winning these big games, and how Poch got them playing, for example, then the knives will start to come out. But at the moment, they're playing beautiful football and they're in a great position in the Premier League title race. Finally, Man City, Brighton at home. I think you could be a little bit happy with a couple of the Brighton results. I think about West Ham in particular. They've been good, Brighton, even in Europe as well. They've not struggled necessarily, but not looked their scintillating best. That's just down to the fact they haven't got a world-class squad. They've got incredible players like Matoma, think of Evan Ferguson. These players are absolutely exceptional, but they're young, they're raw, they're unproven. And you think in these kind of games, will they travel to City and really beat Man City? I don't know. I might be completely wrong. You have to let me know in the comments. But I would be very confident about City beating Brighton. And then you think about the Rodri machine. Now, if Rodri comes back to full fitness, plays every single game from now to the end of the Premier League season, I think City will win the Premier League. I really do. And it might not be nice. Might not be pretty. There might have to be a lot of transition for Nunes and Doku to come in and for it to look really beautiful again. I think City will look really bit ugly at points this season. You can even see it how we played against Arsenal. It was attritional. It was Roberto Mancini vibes. So on some level, you could definitely say that City don't look good, don't look fluid, but we didn't at the start of last season, especially with Brentford. We lost to Brentford at home. It was shocking. We put a few goals past side, but it was kind of robotic and it kind of crosses coming across the face of goal, and it was a little bit physical. It wasn't beautiful, free-flowing football, in my opinion. So I think City have to be the favourites still, but Liverpool and Arsenal definitely waiting in the wings, except for Spurs. If they could do something crazy early in the season, really hit home, get 6, 7, 8 points clear, somehow, it could happen, with drop points this weekend being the foundation for that, I think Spurs have got a chance as well. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who is in the Premier League title race? I'll see you very, very soon.